for us.
Yeah.
But why do you think that we interpret setbacks so personally? And how can we begin to see the bumps as information rather than judgment? That was two part.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
I think we take them personally because we feel like I had a plan. I was going towards it and now I'm off, the bump is here. I don't know how to get over it. Like, we're not we don't have the whole picture. We can't see everything that's going to unfold. And so I think, when that bump in the road, it's easy to feel, and sometimes it feels very insurmountable and you can feel very defeated by it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I think it's that thing of like, it's like, okay, oh, there's a bump in the road here. Like if you just sort of sat back and said, maybe I need to talk this out with somebody. Maybe I need to look at my plan, look at the bump in the road. Like, depends on what the bump in the road is, right? Like, it could
Yeah.
be something where it's like, oh, well, that's going to delay me by a week. That's kind of a drag because I had a deadline, but what can I do to get a little closer, cut off a few days, whatever the case. There's the bumps in the road where you're like, wow, I might
Yes.
actually need to make a right-hand turn
Yeah.
and do something totally different. And then everything in between, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's really about like, if you have the really, really big bump in the road, like who are your smartest people you bring around you for advice?
Yeah.
How do you like actually take that step back? Because the other thing is the bump in the road is when you're often in the like, I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here. And then it's like, whoo, it comes and hits you right in the face, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that's a really big bump because you're right up against it.
Yeah.
So how do you also sort of lift yourself back and out back to a more strategic position to have a real look at what that bump looks like and what it means? And how are you going to go around it? Are you going to go over it? Are you going to change course entirely because it's giving you information that's
Yes.
telling you that the plan you thought you had isn't going to work?
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes the bumps in the roads, they're lessons too.
Oh,
Let
sometimes
you
they're the
know.
biggest gift, right? You hit that bump in the road for something you really, really wanted, and it means the end of that dream, goal, whatever you want to call it. And a year later, you see something that plays out, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so glad I passed on that."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. No,
it happens more than you think,
more
right?
often than you think, right? And sometimes
The
too,
universe is coming to tell you something, and sometimes you do need to listen.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it makes you more, they say twice bitten, once bitten, twice shy. Sometimes it makes you sharper,
yeah,
right? Because one
absolutely.
bump that I had in the road, without, saying too much, on my journey, there was a brewery out in the north, and we were talking about the breathalyzers, and I said, you know what, since this any child,
Yeah.
every child came out, their logo is very similar to
Mm.
ours, and since you guys are in the north and that community is there, let me see if I can change the color to make it less seem like as if we're targeting
Mhm.
those people, because
Mhm.
there's a stigma that says that they drink a lot, right?
Yep.
So we did everything. We changed it to red, and it actually made the logo look completely different.
Mm.
And we did all of that, sent out more samples, then sent the shipment, and that part that fell through, the bad business on their end fell through, and then afterwards the whole management changed.
Right.
So and I knew better, when you're so excited to do something, sometimes
Yeah.
you say okay, and you meet with these people, you talk to these people, you don't get things written yet, but even
Yeah.
if I did get the things written,
Yeah.
they went under. So you're
Yeah.
right, so it was just a loss at the time. So
Yeah.
that stung a lot, especially when you have limited resources, even in time and in
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
But it's still a lesson learned, and it's
Oh,
still,
yeah.
let your antennas go up the next time that you say, you know what,
Right?
let
Well,
me
and
make.
it's so interesting because sometimes they're like, it's like when you're trying to sell somebody something and they negotiate so hard back to you for you to package it differently or do it in another way. And you kind of reluctantly agree, knowing it's probably not the best thing. And then it fails. And you're like, You kind of you also have to learn when to say no, right? And when to know that it's time to move on to the next opportunity.